Shut up and sit down.
Hi there guys, Andy here from Bigmeks Workshop and Painting Studio, and this is a little bit of an odd one. I found some 3D printed aftermarket Pegasus Knights, as I intend to get back to where I started off in fantasy, playing Bretonians. So this is a quick view of the models by Sundered Studios. As you can see, lovely figs, loads of detail, and surprisingly cheap. So we're quite pleased with the models, and they come with decorative bases as well.
Before we get too far into the video, a quick promotion from our sponsors, Composite Games. If you want to get any of the models that we paint in these tutorials and you want them 20% off, go check them out. There's a referral link in each of these videos, and if you use the code Bigmeksarmy, you get an extra 5% off. So that's a whopping 25% off your 40k and other hobby supplies. Definitely check those out. You following those links and using that store also helps us out as they give us credit. That means we get more models as well for cheaper, and we can do more tutorials for you. Everyone's a winner, so go check that out, and I'll let Andy crack on with his videos.
So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to talk a bit about heraldry. Now this is not going to really hold up to the full details of any historical wargaming or painting channel. This is more of my take on how to a little bit of heraldry and a few of the do's and don'ts of painting heraldry. Now, first thing to remember is the colours. Now, this is yellow using Filthy Brown by Vallejo. Now, yellow represents gold as far as heraldry is concerned, and you can't put two metals on together, so you wouldn't be able to put white on a yellow or vice versa. So the metals are as such just white and yellow. Then you've got furs, which is a kind of a pattern. They don't go on top of furs, and colours don't go on top of colours. That's the long and short of it. Obviously, more in-depth information can be found, because I'm not a full historical gamer. I just like heraldry. It looks interesting. So what I'm going to do with these guys is I'm going to paint what is called lozenges. Lozenge, which is diamond checks to me and you. That's going to be the heraldry on these three knights. So as I've started already before, as I said, it's Filthy Brown for the yellow base. It's a really nice, good, strong colour. And on the horse Pegasus itself is Mullenfang Brown for the base colour of the horse flesh and feathers. Now, as you can see, there's a bunch of different ideas coming up in the corners. Now, I pulled this off of the internet just to give you some ideas of the sort of colours you can go for your heraldry to make it look interesting, and just gives you some baselines to work with when you're painting knights and things. Because the thing what I found with Bretonians is, you want your knights to be uniform insofar as from the same colour palette, but each knight should have his own heraldry and look independent of everybody else. It makes the Bretonian style army look a lot more interesting. So as you can see, I've gone for a sort of a bony colour on all the feathers and the tail, just to break up the colours a little bit, makes it look a little bit more interesting. So the feathers and that was all painted up in bone by Vallejo, and I'm painting the leather in rhinox hide. Get a nice dark leather work all over the model, because there's quite a lot of it, and all the feathers are getting just lightly washed with a thin down Agrax Earthshade all the way up and down it, because it's got loads of detail, and you want these feathers independently stand out of themselves. For me wanting to start off Bretonians, because I do enjoy a game of Saga, as I've probably mentioned before. Actually, I'm pretty certain I have. But there's also a fantasy version of it called Age of Magic, and we've got rules for full knightly armies and such. So that's why I've gone for this particular look. Because very representative of the old Bretonian range, but just a little bit more interesting because the Bretonian range is, aside from being discontinued, really old and a little bit flat. All the metalwork under the barding is just getting quick paint in black metal, and now I'm going over all of the yellow sections with golden yellow by Vallejo. Now it's important to paint your light colours first. When you paint your dark colours over the top, it's a lot easier than doing it the other way around. You can do it the other way around, but especially on checks, I don't recommend it. So what I'm doing is getting all the yellows highlighted up to a reasonable standard before the checkers go down. So I'm just following the flow of the robes. I know there's a fancy term for it, but I can't remember how it's pronounced properly. But the flowing cloak, just using the highlight colours just to emphasise the movement. So I've added a touch of pale yellow into the golden yellow now. That's another Vallejo colour. As you can see, just brightening up those yellows a little bit. Still gently lightening it up, but I'm not going for the full highlights like I normally would, as I know that certain areas of this is going to be done in black, which, if I remember correctly, is argent in heraldic colours. And the yellow and black becomes is a really striking combination. It really does look very nice when combined together. Obviously, when painting this sort of thing, you don't want to do stripes in yellow and black, otherwise your horses are going to look like wasps. A little bit more of a pale yellow's gone in now, and we're just starting to finish up those highlights. As you can see, it's the flow of the robe really starting to become pronounced. You can start seeing the extra detail on there. And like I said, for these models being single part casts, or single pose 3D printed, I was very surprised by the quality of the model. They are very, very nice and quite sturdy as well. Not much options for converting or reposing, but they are quite sturdy, and the decorative basis really does add a lot. Now we're starting to get somewhere. We're going to start lining in the shapes of a pattern. Now the thing with doing diagonals, it's really tricky. You've got to follow the movement of the robes itself. Obviously you can see I'm using really thin down paint, so you're not getting particularly solid lines, and as the robes move around, just make sure you adjust your line just to compensate for that. Now this is time consuming. It does take a fair while, and this is obviously only doing one direction at this point, as I do need to break those lines up again, going in opposite direction. And once we've got the colours down, as you can see, the checks start to show up. Start paint over black in, and then just start going back around the light colour and adding some more final highlights to it to get those colours nice and bright on the sections what are yellow, and obviously go back around on the black. And once you've got the yellows highlighted up, it's also an opportunity to tidy everything up as well. As your first draft on the diamonds are not going to be perfect. You're going to need. I did find I had to go round a couple of times just to neaten everything up a bit. So after a bit of neatening up, now we've got something that looks a little bit like diamond checks. Not perfect yet. Still going to keep on having to go back and forward just to tidy it all up a bit. but as you can see, I'm just giving you an idea of the progress, of the process, what you have to do. It is time consuming, but the end result is quite striking. You do get a really nice pattern on there. Now I'm using I'm using black grey by Scale 75 at this point, just to add a little bit of highlight to the black, which is just lightening the colour a little bit, so it's not flat black, as obviously the black needs to be highlighted as well. Now, as you can see, I've got quite a nice light highlight now going into all the sharp corners of the pattern, and it's just adding those nice fine points in there. Now, this is the first time I've tried doing this in a hell of a long time, so it's not perfect. As I said, I dare say there's plenty of historical gaming channels out there who will have a much more informed view on how to do this. And I do have to apologise for if you can hear the dog. She's being weird again, as she has a tendency of doing when I'm filming audio. So, fast forwarding a little bit, and we're going to start tidying up a little bit from the yellow side of things. And what this is doing is just getting those corners extra neat. I'm using the pale yellow again for the highlights. You can see the highlights really stand out now on the black. And do it. I'm just going to go around and make sure all the yellow highlights are just the same as well, as it does. Like I said, it does make everything look a hell of a lot nicer with them nice, bright, vibrant colours. This one fairly short because, as you can see, it's more about the heraldry rather than painting of the knights. As you can see, I continued the same colour pattern onto the knight himself, threw a bit of weathering powders on the bottom of the robes, just to make him look a little bit more mucky, where he's been running rather than flying, and it just sort of adds a little bit of a finishing touch to it, making the model look a little bit more interesting, a little bit more alive. So I've got a couple of other variants what I also went with, just to give you a couple of ideas of what else you can do with these sort of things. So this is a blue and white diamond checks with halved yellow. I'm not sure how that one fits into the heraldic rules. I believe you can have two metals side by side, but not one on top of the other. I'm sure somebody out there will be more than capable of explaining where I went wrong. And I also went from left to right on the knight rather than from front to back. Keeps them in theme with the colours, but also makes them a little bit different as well. And one final one done in quartered checks. Now this was really complicated because I had to really think about where I was painting the model and where the checks were going. But the end result again is really striking, really interesting. So I've gone for a black horse, this one, with quartered red and white, and then also quartered black and yellow. So I'm keeping that black and yellow theme in the unit, but also each knight is independent of the other two. So it's just an idea of what sort of things you can do throwing around those models. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching this. I really hope this was useful to you. I hope you enjoy that sort of thing. It was a little bit different for me to paint something like that. Don't get an opportunity to paint historical style models very often, so I took the opportunity when I could get it to paint some Bretonians in a historical sort of style. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and if you want to really help us out, please hit like, subscribe, share with your friends, and all that good stuff. Check out Element Games on the Outpost as well. They're really good guys and really helpful, where you get stock, reduced price models and all your hobby supplies, and we get store credit at no cost to you if you use our affiliate link. So thank you for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.